it was fun.
We were having a lot of fun right before this video started as well. We were just insanely jamming out on these beautiful guitars that we have with us today. So today we are doing a semi-hollow body shootout video.
Yes.
In which we've got two great guitars. One from Hex, which is called the Q300. Keegan, show it to them.
So you're probably familiar with the Gibson hollow bodies that we used to have, and it was like this iconic guitar that we've seen on B.B. King, we've seen John Mayer use it, we've seen Clapton, and all the famous guitar players that we have. And I was really excited to play this guitar, and when I picked it up and plugged it in, it was like, oh my god. It just makes you want to just keep playing.
Yep.
When we were jamming, we didn't want to stop.
We jammed for around 30 minutes before we started on this. We played a lot of tunes.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely wonderful experience having these around, and so much fun. That's the word I was looking for. It's like so fun.
It's
just
really fun.
Playing around with these. It's absolutely a blast. So what Keegan has is perhaps a little more of a modern approach to the traditional ES335 from Gibson.
Yep.
So what you would notice on the Hex guitar is that it's got all matte finish. So it's completely matte.
It's got a white matte finish, which you wouldn't see traditionally on the ES335s.
But it feels fast and feels great.
Really
at the same time, they have simplified the knobs here. So you've got a volume and tone that was common for both pickups, whereas on a more traditional setup, you would have something like 4 knobs, like I have on my DJP-1000R from Donner. So one volume, one tone for the neck, one volume, one tone for the bridge. That's how it works. And you've got a simple 3-way selector over here. He's got a simple 3-way selector over there.
Pretty simple.
Absolute blues rock machines. Also can be used for jazz. It's got everything. It's very versatile. Got a whole range of tones. But the biggest decision that you might have to make if you are having around 30,000 rupees and want to spend it on a semi-hollow body is choosing between the Hex and the Donner. So which one should you go for? That's what we'll try answering in this video for you today. So starting off with the specs, they're quite similar. This one, it comes with a more vintage design. So it's more traditional in its approach and its sound at the same time. So it emulates the ES335 very well. But an additional feature that this gets is coil splitting. So you can pull out the volume pots here, and that would split the neck and the bridge humbucker, giving you some more tonal options, which if you want to use, you've always got on your side. If you don't want to use, just keep them off. So that's an additional feature that this one gets. It's very true to its original ES335 character. Even I think the look and
the finish,
shape, very similar. Trapezoid inlays, the vintage stuff like that. It's got a big jazz badging on the headstock, a big Donner logo as well. Don't know if you're a fan of that, but it does have that vintage thing where it looks like
it does look like a more traditional one. And we've seen the ES335 sort of evolve into what's now called the DG335, which is used by Dave Grohl for the Foo Fighters. Now if you listen to the Foos, they're a hard rock band and they really love their gain. And I think what Hex has done is kind of lean towards that aspect of it. So keeping the control simple. So when you're playing like on stage, you're playing like a hard rock, just going. You don't want to have
too many controls
and click the wrong control. So I think they've kept it really simple, and for that matter, it does really well with the loud rock tones.
And at the same time, for the rock tones, you don't really need all the controls.
No, not
These
really.
are more for the jazz players and
really
you would require.
Intricate details in terms of sounds.
But what this allows me to do is, an interesting thing which I can do on mine and you cannot. An edge of breakup type of, rhythm tone. Then as soon as I switch to the bridge, it's got like a...
Right, I see.
So I can use mine like, and I've got 2 different modes altogether.
Right, I see.
But this sounds very muddy. I'm just noticing this is what you do with like this type of control thing. I don't think these pickups are really... I think it's more of a volume pot thing.
It's probably a pot thing.
But but it's not very linear. I just try to turn down the gain on the amp.
Yeah, you have your gain. Yeah.
So I have like a softer tone, and then I can just go into like a.
Right. Because that's what the Les Pauls used to do. Initially, you just had that. They literally named it rhythm and lead.
Yeah.
On the switch, so you just set it up that way. Of course, that's something I would love to have.
So I can just switch that way using these extra controls that I've got. So yeah, that provides me.
That does provide
that
you with an
versatility.
extra.
But yeah, if you would like to use that or not, is a thing that you should decide on your own. But yeah, these 4 controls allow you to do that very much. And also a cool feature is you just turn off the neck pickup and then you can do crazy stuff like this.
I see. Get innovative.
You can use it like a kill switch. So yeah, these are some things you can do with extended pots like that. But
yeah, well, with more controls you do get those features. With this, I just guess it's meant for something a little more simpler.
Yeah.
Where you can just roll off the tone. Again, this cleans up really nicely. Even I'm on the bridge pickup right now. I've got the volume just about at like 3.
That's a beautiful sound, man.
And then
also, I think the pickups on yours are a slightly hotter set, right?
yes, they are hotter, and even the pots are a lot more linear. So even at lower volumes, it really cleans up really well, and that's something that it's hard to find in a lot of guitars, where you can really just go from totally clean to totally dirty with just the volume control. And I like how this guitar does it. At the same time, it doesn't sound over the top on the overdrive. It's got that sparkle, which I definitely love. And even if I pick I've got the volume on full, and I pick really lightly.
Ooh. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah. I mean, what more can I say that other than the fact that this guitar can really be a useful tool, whether you're in the studio or whether you're playing in a live situation.
Yeah.
It just covers a lot of ground.
Yeah. At the same time, I think your guitar sounds really great for rock because it lacks some of that blues muddy type of a sound, whereas mine has a lot more mud. If you notice, if you just play the same thing, just a power chord, see,
lot more high end.
Yours has got a lot more mid range and high end. Mine has like a lot more bass end, which is great for something like it's got that authentic blues sound, and especially on the neck.
It's got that fuzzy sound to it. If I do that on mine, it's like.
I mean, that's.
You make out straight out of the.
Man, I love that tone.
Yeah. It's just got more of gain. And that, I mean, it's kind of subjective how much gain you want.
I like how is that bassy semi-hollow body tone. It's got that, that. Yeah.
What would be interesting is let's actually go clean on the amps. I kind of like the clean sounds in that guitar.
Yeah, I mean this sounds very sharp. That's what I said. Like this sounds great for like blues. Or if you are doing it for jazz, I mean I can't play much jazz, but This has that, that oomph and kind of that muddy nature in which the bass end is kind of taken over and overpowering the mids and the highs a little bit that way. But yours has more of a, cut mid-range and
Yes.
cut through.
Even on a clean amp, it's still breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, you have got hotter pickups on there. But yeah, not to say that you can't use that one for jazz.
I mean, you can. It can totally. But you've got to really tame the tone pots.
Yeah.
Even a slight. It's very just responsive. Again, hotter pickups. So in that sense, I think that will do the
jazz and blues part a lot better. That would do the rock part a lot better. So this is more of a BB King style guitar, and that's more of a Dave Grohl style. So yeah, apart from that, I think coming over to the build quality, both of them are kind of similar, but I like that one a lot better. Can I just try your guitar really quickly?
Let's do that. Straight off the bat, I noticed the necks are different.
Yeah, so this has a modern, slimmer kind of a profile. That has a fatter neck.
Fatter neck, so again, geared towards your blues.
So yeah, I mean, this once again just solidifying on that point that this is a more modern approach to the traditional ES335 guitar. This has been made in Indonesia though, and that comes from China.
Yes.
And to be very frank and honest with all of you, this has better build quality than that.
Yeah.
By a good margin, I would say.
So in general, Hex does have a better build quality.
Yeah.
That's why the playability on that is a little more. I found it better. This can be not the most friendly guitar to play just because the neck dimensions are a little thicker.
And I mean, even just taking a look at the frets on that and this, the type of build that this has is, it feels a lot more premium.
Yeah. Do you have like rounded edges? Fret ends? Okay.
It's not like those oval frets, but yeah, even the frets are not bad on that.
No, not too bad.
Just the overall feel is a little bit more inexpensive on that, and this feels a little more premium.
In fact, this I feel more close to like an acoustic guitar. It feels like I'm playing an acoustic guitar.
I think even the shape, just through overlay, I think this has a smaller bout.
It probably does. Let's look at it. I don't know, I can't see anything from this side.
Yeah, I think it's about the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, but this just does feel a lot heavier.
Yeah, that's a little heavier. I think that's because of the finish and the overall paint that goes on.
Yeah.
And
but then again, I just love how this.
But yeah, in terms of the sound, if you like that blues and jazz type of that oomphy sound, then this is the thing that you would get. So
straight up.
Let's rate it on like different parameters.
Yeah, let's
first,
do it that way.
Why don't you give it like in terms of the sound? What would you rate that?
So in terms of the sound, again, it does the cleans better. It does the rock style not that good. So I'd give it again a 9 on 10 just because of the pickups not being that hot.
I mean, yeah, this also I would give it a 9 on 10, but for the exact opposite reason.
Yeah.
Because it does the rock stuff really good, and it doesn't do the clean and the blues part that good. But I feel at the same time that's a more authentic sounding ES335 sound. If you are like, a purist, that's the sound that you would like to hear from that type of a guitar.
Right.
This is more of something, someone more experimental. But yeah, this is not a bad experiment at all.
Not at all.
That.
I think we're just being picky.
Yeah, this is more of a rock sound. So yeah, this is also a 9 out of 10 for sure. In terms of sound, both of them sound great, and we just lost ourselves.
Yeah, we couldn't stop jamming, and we just couldn't believe how good these guitars sound.
I love that tone.
The best thing about hollow bodies is you get that lovely sustain that you don't really get with the solid bodies, and I miss that. Just being able to hold that note, and especially when you're up on stage and you have the amps behind you, you can just generate that sustain and go on. Yeah,
stuff like that.
Feedback. So whether you're playing even a blues show or a rock show, you just have a lot more overtones, and it's always great to have that in your arsenal when you're up on stage.
Yeah. What about the playability on that guitar and this guitar?
So this is maybe a little more personal, but I like the playability on the Hex a lot better.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, just because the neck profile seems a little more, I should say, slimmer, and I'm not sure what exactly Donner was going for with this.
I think it's a more traditional.
Yeah, it's basically a more traditional. They didn't really bother.
I wouldn't really blame that for the neck profile. I wouldn't say that I like this because it is having a slimmer neck. I would say I like this because it has a more satin feeling neck.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the neck is just constructed a little better than that one. But yeah, at the same time, if you like a thicker neck or a lacquered neck, that's the thing that
this does have that glossy
thing
up in
the ES335. So yeah, I think this will get a 9 on 10 in playability, and that would get a 7.5 out of 10 from my end. What would you rate?
I would just give it one. I would give it like an 8 on 10. It's not
bad. Yeah,
it's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. But
that would definitely be a 9 on 10.
This is better than that. Yeah. What about the build quality though? On that one versus this one?
Again, I have to say I just like the build quality on the Hex.
Me too.
It just seems a lot more. First of all, it's lighter in weight, so that's a plus. And I don't know whether it's a matte finish or just the way it's constructed.
Yeah.
It just feels a lot better. There's nothing in particular I can point out except for the neck and all that, but it just feels better.
Yeah, I mean, I think one area where you can easily make out a difference is, the binding on the bottom of the fingerboard. If you look at it on the Hex, so it's done a lot more clean.
Yeah, here it does seem a little.
And on that you would have, you see here, minor imperfections where the plastic is kind of coming over, things are bleeding out and in. So yeah, stuff like that. Overall build quality and finish, that slightly, less than this one. So yeah, I would rate this a 9 on 10, and I would rate that again a 7.5 out of 10. That's the amount of difference I think there's in the build quality.
Yeah, even I would give it the same 7.5 on build quality and like a 9 on 10 for that.
I think that clears out a lot of confusion between both of these guitars. Once again, just because that scores a little lower does not mean it's a bad guitar. It's just a great guitar for someone who's liking blues, doing that type of a sound that produces. This cannot. But at the same time, this has a type of a sound, the more rocky nature of it.
Yes.
The more mid-range and high-end treble that this has compared to that, that cannot do. So
if you're someone who's looking for a traditional ES335, I think this would definitely be the way to go, because the build quality and everything they've stayed true to that. So that is definitely a plus, I think, on this one.
Yeah, and this one is just meant for doing more rocky stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're more of that kind of a player, a Dave Grohl inspiration. So yeah, this is something you should definitely check out. And yeah, it has kind of a better build quality and playability than that one as well. So yeah, I think that pretty much boils it down. Should we end it with a small jam?
Let's do that.